KL Institute of Advanced Driving. Drive with confidence.
Good evening to you. Many thanks for joining us right here for Prime News at 9. I'm Brown Sakwa in sign language interpretation. At the bottom of your screen is Naomi Mathu. We'll start off by women in the Juakali sector at Roysambu have gone on rampage to protest against a piece of land grabbed by a renowned white businessman around the TRM region. The locals have faulted the magistrate who ruled in favor of the tycoon, citing that they have been inhabiting the land for years. The final ruling of the case is set to happen tomorrow, with locals citing that they are hopeful the magistrate will rule in their favor.
Hii barabara imekuwa ni njia moja ama nyingine, imekuwa ni barabara yenye watu wanatumia kama kitoweo kwao. Sababu hii barabara kila wakati inatengwa pesa na barabara itengenezwe. Kama mwezi mbili iliyopita hii barabara imetengwa zaidi ya shilingi milioni 9. Lakini barabara hapa kuanzia Adele mpaka Mulanjo barabara haitengenezwi. Na sisi kama viongozi katika hii sehemu, chama na bodaboda, tukiwa na vijana wenzangu, tulisema kwamba hii barabara tunataka kupeana wiki 2 iweze kutengenezwa.
Mechanics in Juakali sector, involving some residents of Roysambu today, held a peaceful demonstration protesting the earlier ruling of a case and instant change of the magistrate of their case that involves ownership of 7.5 acres adjustments to TRM Mall.
Hii shamba imebeba watu wengi. Hakuna siku yenye imetulia hapa. Tunahangaishwa na wale wenye wanajiita ni magwiji na wanajua wako na pesa ndio wanahangaisha raia hapa. Roysa community ni sisi wenye hiyo shamba inasoma. Hii shamba haijabeba mtu mmoja. Kuna watu wa Juakali, kuna wamama, kuna wazaliwa na kuna wanabiashara hapo. Wapo na inasoma wao. Shida ni hao watu wenye wanajifanya ni wakubwa na hawasikii lolote. Shida wameweka pesa mbele, wanahangaisha raia hapa, na ukweli ni kwamba shamba inasoma wenye wako hapo mpaka saa hizi.
Mimi naitwa Philip Oyo Ochor. Ndio chairman wa hii group ya mechanic hapa Roysambu, tunajiita Roysambu Community Development Society. Tuko na sehemu yetu ambayo inanyakuliwa pale, na tumeelezwa ya kwamba tutakuwa na judgment ketu.
According to them, they say they are children of workers of white settlers who left Kenya years back and left them to benefit from the land, although later grabbers and cartels have made efforts to remove them with endless court cases. And only last week, the magistrate who was handling the case was mysteriously transferred.
Naomba MCA wetu, MP wetu, governor wetu, president wetu aingilie kati atusaidie.
Tuombe nafasi tupewe ruhusa ya kuingia kwa hiyo shamba, ambapo tulipewa na tukaruhusiwa na serikali kuingia kwa hiyo shamba. Wakati tulipoingia kwa hiyo shamba, kulitokea watu ambao wanajiita Kasarani Mall, na tena wakakuja wakajibadilisha wakajiita Roysambu Mall, ambao wamekuja wakatufukuza kwa ile shamba. Mwishowe tukaenda hadi kwa bunge kupitia mbunge wa area yetu ambaye ametushikilia. Akatafutana na hii maneno, akatafutana na ukweli, na ikadhibitishwa ya kwamba hii shamba inafaa kuwa ya watu wa Roysambu.
So far the ruling is being done by another magistrate whom they say they have a feeling that it won't be done free and fair. The ruling is set for tomorrow Wednesday, which they say they have not even been heard with the new magistrate.
Na hii judgment ambayo itakuwa kesho hatujui, kwa sababu yule anaenda kudecide sio yule aliandika hiyo kesi. Iko they are being pushed by cartels.
Nataka president wetu atutetee ili hii saba tupate haki ya hii saba. Sisi ni watu wa jua kali, hatuna mbele wala nyuma. Sisi watu tetee mwananchi wa kawaida.
Reporting from Mwangaza Prime News, Veronica Wangari.
Now, border operators in Madogo and in Tana River County have held peaceful demonstrations to protest against the poor state of the Madogo-Malambala road. The operators cited that the poor state of the road has caused countless accidents, which have left some of their colleagues and customers dead and hospitalized. They are now calling on the government agencies in charge of roads and the county government to move with speed and repair the road, which provides a source of livelihood for the riders.
Hii barabara imekuwa ni njia moja ama nyingine, imekuwa ni barabara yenye watu wanatumia kama kitoweo kwao. Sababu hii barabara kila wakati inatengwa pesa na barabara itengenezwe. Kama mwezi mbili iliyopita hii barabara imetengwa zaidi ya shilingi milioni 9. Lakini barabara hapa kuanzia Adele mpaka Mulanjo barabara haitengenezwi. Na sisi kama viongozi katika hii sehemu, chama na bodaboda, tukiwa na vijana wenzangu tulisema kwamba hii barabara tunataka kupeana wiki 2 iweze kutengenezwa. Kwa sababu kuna project ya Kera ya national government, kuna project ya Kuro ya county government. So sisi tunaomba waziri wa Shira wa county government ya Tana River aweze kutengeneza hii barabara ndani ya wiki 2. La sio hivyo hii barabara haiwezi pitika.
Na changamoto tumepata kwanza katika hii barabara yetu. Hapo awali tumepata shida na kina mama ambao tunabeba tunaangusha kila saa. Tukaamua kuchanga shilingi ndio tukaanza kutengeneza ukumaga marhama hapa, tukatembea lakini ikazidi tena kuharibika tena. Na Kenya tunauliza sisi, kwani katika Tana River viongozi wetu wameenda wapi? Ama sisi kura tunapiga kura yetu inaenda wapi? Hatuna haki katika Tana River.
MC area na MP tumewachagua miaka 10. Na katika ile miaka 10 hakuna maendeleo yote ametuletea. Vile mnavyoona barabara yetu kuanzia hii mpaka Balambala, njia ni mchanga, hata mara tumeshindwa kuwekewa. Sisi kama vijana bodaboda njia inatusumbua, tukibeba abiria mpaka ushukishe abiria kusukumie pikipiki. Hii ndio changamoto ambayo tuko naye. Sasa mimi nauliza hawa viongozi wa Tana River wako wapi? Kazi ambaye wamewekwa juu ya kiti naye ni kazi gani? Kama barabara yetu iko hivi, wao leo wako kwa manyumba zao wanafanya starehe, sisi raia tunanyanyasika. Sisi tunadai haki yetu, hatuwezi kubali barabara tufunguliwe na kutengenezewa.
Now, KC University students have gone on rampage on Tuesday morning to demonstrate against the sudden increase of school fees at the facility. The angry mob of students threw stones and smashed doors and vandalized the institution's vice-chancellor's office. Tension remained high in the facility as students were engaged in a scuffle with the police who lobbed tear gas canisters to disperse the overwhelmed crowd. The school vice-chancellor is yet to issue directive on the issue as learning has been suspended at the university.
As comrades of KC University, and this all is because of the issue of fee increment. This was increased abruptly, immediately, without giving out the memo of why it has been increased, and now we are crying. Parents, most of our parents are also crying, and others are not even trusting in what we tell them. We told them that fee was increased, and our parents are even not believing in what we are telling them. So we want the government, tunataka government itusaidie. The other authorities in charge watusaidia.
Kama tunataka hiyo fee reduced. Imagine online the whole week. Finary inakuwa increased for what?
Sisi second years tuna make sure kuna any activity na endelea kwa hii institution. Kama school fees yetu haijafanya nini, haijareduciwa hapa. So hiyo kitu isipokuwa hapa leo, tena kesho tuko hapa. Tunataka wazazi wetu wafurahie. Tunataka wazazi wafurahie. We are from poor families and we are from humble families. Our parents wanasema wacha government tusikie kilio chetu na vizia tusikie kilio chetu, apunguze hivi confidence power.
Now, Deputy President William Ruto has summoned Parliament to allocate enough resources to the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission to adequately conduct a voter registration exercise. The DP pointed out that IEBC should ensure it meets and registers and also meets its target of 6 million new voters. Speaking during a Mount Kenya Kambani Aspirants Forum at his current office, he added, majority of those targeted in the voter registration drive are young people who deserve the opportunity to define their future and destiny. He noted that the independent election body should ensure that it has enough biometric kits to register eligible Kenyans.
Discussion that will take our party ahead.
Deputy President Dr. William Ruto has called upon the National Assembly to allocate enough funds to the IEBC.
We also want to ask IEBC to make sure that there are enough kits everywhere in Kenya so that every citizen can have the opportunity to be enlisted as a voter, those who are not enlisted. And if there are additional resources required, Parliament should allocate additional resources to IEBC.
He urges that the IEBC be given more time for voter registration to achieve the target of 6 million new voters.
IEBC can discharge their mandate and make sure that every voter in Kenya is not denied their chance to participate in ensuring that the next election 6 million new voters participate.
He said this in his official residence in Karen, Nairobi, stating that most of the youths have not yet been registered. In addition, he says that the IEBC should have more BVR kits to ensure that every Kenyan is registered for the upcoming election come next year.
The young people are the greatest stakeholders of our present and our future. Wenzetu ambao wako bunge, please, we are asking the Parliament of Kenya to appropriate resources to IEBC to give them the capacity to enlist the 6 million voters.
This comes with the low turnout of people registering, contrary to the expectations. Leaders are now on a call for everyone to register on due time as they all express the importance of voting.
I want to ask each and every leader to familiarize themselves on the IEBC calendar of areas where they will be recruiting new voters so that we can mobilize the new voters around the areas and the dates when IEBC are present to enlist them as voters.
Church leaders are also in support of this as they also urge that the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission be allocated the required funds to ease the process. Reporting for Mwangaza TV Primetime News, Claudia Robinson.
Wacha niwapatie ujumbe wa
As the ongoing mass voter registration campaign continues in the country, Mombasa County has recorded a low voter turnout during the exercise. IEBC has expressed concerns over the same, as several counties across the country record the same. The election body noted that it had missed out its target of registering 1.5 million turnout and only bagged 200,000 new voters. All right, I'm told on that note we are taking our first break right here. We are back with much more.
Unatazama Mwangaza TV, tumaini lako.
Kwa zaidi ya miaka 15, kampuni ya Kemuma Engineering Systems imedhihirisha ustadi katika ulingo wa kuuza na kuweka vifaa vya ulinzi kama vile CCTV cameras, razor wire fence, electric and automatic gates, access control systems, computerized hotel and offices lock system, automatic and fire alarm systems pamoja na electrical accessories. Pia tunafanya consultation katika masuala yote ya ulinzi. Tunapofanya installation tunakupa warranty na guarantee. Maduka yetu yako jijini Nairobi na viungani mwake. Tutembelee au upige simu kupitia 0712828896 au 0721250846. Kemuma Engineering Systems. Security at its best.
Ninakusalimu sana mtazamaji wa Mwangaza TV. Kwa majina naitwa Rusi Popote. Mimi ndio nimekuimbia huo wimbo unaitwa Roho ya Maguta. Na ukitaka kupokea huo wimbo ukue kama sikiza tune ya simu yako, uta dial *860*907# na utakuwa umepokea huo wimbo na utakuwa umesupport uimbaji wangu, na Mungu akubariki sana. Na muendelee kutazama Mwangaza TV.
Je, umekuwa ukitafuta mahali pazuri ambapo unaweza kodishwa sehemu ya ofisi ya mabiashara? Suluhu la kudumu limepatikana. Jewel Complex ni jumba lililoko katika eneo la Roysambu Roundabout mkabala na TRM. Jewel Complex ni jumba la kisasa ambalo limejengwa kwa ustadi likiwa na sehemu kubwa ya kuegesha magari, stairs za kukuwezesha kufika orofa tofauti tofauti na lift ni za kisasa ili kukuokolea wakati. Kuna sehemu ambazo unaweza weka biashara yako na pia nafasi kubwa za ofisi zimetengwa. Kuna nafasi chache zilizosalia kwani tayari 80% zimekodishwa. Usalama ni wa kiwango cha juu na pia kuna maji na stima na backup generator ili kuhakikisha kuna umeme kila wakati. Usafi umezingatiwa na pia malipo ni nafuu yenye kiwango cha uwezo wako. Fanya hima ili kutoa sehemu chache zilizosalia. Kwa habari zaidi na pia kuelekezwa, piga simu nambari 0736 783 689 0736 783 689. Jewel Complex, hapa ndipo.
Unatazama Mwangaza TV, tumaini lako.
Many thanks for staying with us. You're watching Prime News at 9 now. As the ongoing election mass voter registration continues in the country, Mombasa County has recorded a low voter turnout during the exercise. The IEBC has expressed concerns over the same as several counties across the country record a low voter turnout. The election body noted that it had missed out its target of registering up to 1.5 million turnout and only managed to register 200,000.
The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, has registered 14% of the targeted voters in the first week of the mass listing. A registration update by the IEBC chairman Wafula Chebukati in a statement yesterday shows that for the last 7 days, the commission has registered 202,518 new voters out of the weekly targeted of 1.5 million.
Tunahamasisha watu kukata kura, lakini Mombasa County idadi yake ni ndogo sana. Na sababu kuu ya vijana kutokata kura ni mahitaji yao hayakamilishwi.
The polls agency launched the exercise on the 4th of October and is targeting to register at least 6 million new voters by the close of the exercise on the 2nd of November. The commission states that the lower voter turnout is mainly attributed to a general voter apathy, insecurity in parts of Lamu, Baringo, and Laikipia counties, as well as Kenya-Somali borders.
Hili ni jambo la kusikitisha na ni kama wapigaji kura wamekosa imani na viongozi.
IEBC says that it has hired voter mobilizers in the 290 constituencies to boost awareness of the listing. And after the registration that ends on the 2nd of November, data will be compiled and cleaned before the voters verify their details for a month early next year.
Iko kwa mkono ya raia. Ni wakati ambaye raia ako na nguvu ya kubadilisha maisha yake.
Upigaji kura ni muhimu sana kwa ukombozi wetu wa hali za kiuchumi katika pwani. Kwa hivyo paka dakika hii katika Mombasa County watu ni kidogo sana wamejitokeza kupiga kura. Kwa hivyo sisi tuahimiza youth ambao katika population ya Kenya ni 70% wajitokeze. Hii ni ngao yao, hii ni ajira yao.
The commission will also conduct mass voter registration for those in diaspora in December and also include 6 more countries in its diaspora list, namely South Africa, United States, United Kingdom, Canada, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates. Reporting for Mwangaza Prime News, Margaret Kamau.
President Uhuru Kenyatta has commenced his 2-day visit in the United States to hold talks with the United Nations Secretary Antonio Guterres. The president, who was the chair at the event, discussed several subjects of global importance, among them security and humanitarian crisis in Haiti and Ethiopia's Tigray region, as well as preparations for the forthcoming United Nations Climate Change Conference in Glasgow, Scotland. The president and his host agreed to continue engaging Ethiopian government and other actors in the internal conflict with a view of finding a lasting solution to the crisis. On matters politics and humanitarian situation in Haiti, the President of the United Nations, Boris Guterres, resolved to continue rallying on the international community to stand in solidarity with people of the troubled Caribbean nation as it navigates its way out of the current crisis. Right now, an estimated number of 100 teenage girls from 5 slums in Nakuru County have a reason to smile after receiving free training on digital skills targeted to empower young and vulnerable girls in the area about the power of using social media. The program, coordinated by Young African Women Initiative, dubbed YAWI, and financed by the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, seeks to equip young girls with advocacy skills in bid to make girls advocates against teenage pregnancies, radicalization, and online abuse.
Young African Women Initiative Chief Executive Director Fidelis Karanja Wamboi has observed that as online gender-based violence increasingly becomes rife in the digital age, there is need for increased vigilance on the digital spaces for stakeholders to protect the young internet-savvy users from potential abuse.
My name is Fidelis Wamboi Karanja. I'm one of the founders of Young African Women Initiative. have purpose to educate girls on how to use photography, how to use social media positively, to tell life-changing stories and also about their community.
Karanja says skills in efficient and meaningful use of the digital space for the young users also aim to stimulate innovative ideas about marketing their craft while learning from others about how best to broaden their prospects in business and social advocacy.
And one of the things that I would encourage girls today all over the world and within our nation is that they use the digital platform positively. Digital platform can change their lives, can change their society, and they should not be afraid. They should fight for that space, and it's also their right to use that space.
Part of the initiative is to equip beneficiaries with basic skills in photography, graphic design, drawing and painting to be effective and efficient agents of the much needed social change.
And this is why we are reaching up to them so that we can bring them to the limelight and be able to use the social media platform despite wherever they are coming from. And it has been very effective. We have artists, we have people who can compose very nice songs, and even people who are able to use the digital platforms to tell their good stories.
She noted that online violence and cyberbullying against girls is increasingly growing, and without adequate knowledge around safety, it impacts negatively on their psychological well-being, and this contributes to rising incidents of pregnancy, depression, and suicide, ruins their careers, and a lot of times limits their chances at careers. But with skills, users will be able to identify online abuse, report to relevant authorities, and even seek timely counseling.
But unfortunately, the social platforms have been misused, and actually they are a danger to our girls. We find that you find even girls taking photos and of nude photos and posting on the social media, exposing them to people who are abusing them, either online or they go looking for them and connect with them. We have found that even some of the girls, they commit suicide because of cyberbullying, and these are some of the dangers that we should protect our girls and also our children from such platforms. And we encourage that those platforms, they need to be monitored for our girls.
She calls for consistent education for young people about responsible use of the internet, saying the digital space is the ever-growing marketplace of ideas which can make or break the young users. Beneficiaries like 18-year-old photography buff Alice Juma and 19-year-old Leila Athiambo hailed the initiative as an opportunity for them to use their talent and craft to tell stories about what afflicts their neighborhoods for corrective action.
Na tumekuwa in different kibandas. Ya hapa nimejifunza kutake photo, lazima uanze na kufocus kwanza. Siko najua hiyo. Pale kwa hiyo kibanda ingine ya pili nimejifunza venye unafaa ku sign in kwa Facebook.
Nimefurahi sana kwa siku ya digital generation. Nimejifunza kuhusu photography. Nimejifunza kuhusu unaweza kuwa artist na earn money.
So mimi nimekuwa nikichora, and kenye nimekuwa ni inspire chora ni nature, saa zingine naona vitu zina happen kwa my environment.
Reporting for Mwangaza Prime News, Daisy Paul.
Kutoka hapo exposure inaanza kiendelea.
Now, the Environmental Science Subdivision has partnered with Lankland Kenya Limited, a subsidiary of Unifrat, to distribute Premise 200 SC, a premium termicide targeting to building and construction industry. The product matches the current customer needs, providing a premium solution for termite control at a good price, as well as continuous technical training support for production application. The benefits of the Premise of 200 SC include guaranteed 5 years effectiveness compared to average of 3 years for other products in the market, killing the nest where it takes on a termite to eliminate rest and low volume of product used per application. The active ingredient of Premise has been approved for use for many years for professional pest control in homes and public buildings. Premise has been through a rigorous regulatory evaluation by the government regulator and is safe to people and the environment when the product is used as recommended.
kuhusu World Development Fund.
Na tumesema nyinyi mkikutana kwa general meeting yenu, resolution moja hiwe ya kusema hamtaki makesi, kwa sababu wanasema hiyo makesi wameweka kwa niaba yenu. Nyinyi ndio mmewaambia maweke makesi. Hivyo ndivyo wanasema, na inaandikwa hata kwa gazeti kweli. Kama mmesema nyinyi, mmesema waweke makesi, wangapi wamesema wataki hiyo makesi kotini? Hiyo inakula pesa. Mawakili wanalipwa 200 million, mnachangishwa kwa nguvu kwa factory. Kwa hivyo ile njia ya rais kutoa hiyo kesi ni hii mkutano mnaenda ya NGM, mpitishe kama resolution, tupeleke kotini, tuone yule atapinga, tuone kama cost bado itaendelea naye, unless court pia iwe iko na agenda.
Tea farmers have a reason to smile as they are set to enjoy cheap loans as Kenya Tea Development Agency KTDA moves to streamline Greenland Feather tea farmers who have subscribed to Greenland Feather Microfinance, which is owned by the Kenya Tea Development Agency. The farmers will be eligible to access cheap loans from the institution once the program is completed. David Ichoho, one of the KTDA Board National Chairman, said that they have come up with a policy that will see interest rates drop from 21% to 8%. He added that the board is also looking for a new name to be used in the rebranding of the microfinance to give it a new face and make it a farmer-friendly.
Kuhusu World Development Fund.
Na tumesema nyinyi mkikutana kwa general meeting yenu, resolution moja hiwe ya kusema hamtaki makesi, kwa sababu wanasema hiyo makesi wameweka kwa niaba yenu. Nyinyi ndio mmewaambia maweke makesi. Hivyo ndivyo wanasema, na inaandikwa hata kwa gazeti kweli. Kama mmesema nyinyi, mmesema waweke makesi, wangapi wamesema wataki hiyo makesi kotini? Hiyo inakula pesa. Mawakili wanalipwa 200 million, mnachangishwa kwa nguvu kwa factory. Kwa hivyo ile njia ya rais kutoa hiyo kesi ni hii mkutano mnaenda ya NGM, mpitishe kama resolution, tupeleke kotini, tuone yule atapinga, tuone kama cost bado itaendelea naye, unless court pia iwe iko na agenda.
All right, now on to some international updates. That the United Nations Top Court has ruled largely in favor of Somalia in its long-running dispute with Kenya over the maritime border. Kenya previously accused the International Court of Justice of bias and said it will not accept the ruling. The case concerned a 38,000 square kilometer triangle in the Indian Ocean that is thought to be rich in oil and gas. The dispute has been at the heart of the diplomatic row between the two neighboring countries.
For over a decade now, a battle line has been drawn between Kenya and Somalia as a result of maritime boundary dispute. Kenya has refused to participate in the hearing at the World Court over contested parts of the Indian Ocean in a dispute that has strained the neighbors' diplomatic relations.
Kenya claimed that the maritime boundaries between the two countries have been drawn using the parallel of latitude in accordance with Article 7483 of the UNCLOS, and requested Somalia to confirm, I quote, that the transitional federal government agrees with the way the maritime boundaries between the two countries are drawn, as deposited with the United Nations by the government of the Republic of Kenya, end quote. The aid memoir attached to the note verbal stated that the boundaries between our two countries have not been defined. In the note verbal of 4 July 2008, Kenya asked the government of Somalia, I quote, to state its position to the government of the Republic of Kenya that the transitional federal government of Somalia agrees with the maritime boundaries between the two countries as drawn and deposited with the United Nations by the government of the Republic of Kenya, end quote.
The case was filed in 2014 by Somalia at International Court of Justice, the United Nations highest court for disputes between states, and a decision could determine the rights to exploit oil and gas in the deep waters of the East African coastline.
Of 26 September 2007, which concerned the process of delineation of the outer limits of its continental shelf. The maritime law does not refer to the delimitation of either the exclusive economic zone or the continental shelf. Article 4 defines Somalia's territorial sea as extending to 12 nautical miles and addresses the issue of its delimitation with Kenya, providing in the relevant part of paragraph 6, I quote, "If there is no multilateral treaty, the Somali Democratic Republic shall consider that the border between the Somali Democratic Republic and the Republic of Djibouti and the Republic of Kenya is a straight line towards the sea from the land as indicated on the enclosed charts," end of quote. Somalia has not produced the charts mentioned in the provision, explaining that they may have been lost or destroyed during the Civil War.
The spat began after Somalia accused Kenya of illegally awarding exploration rights in the waters of multinationals Total and Energen. The case is supposed to adjudicate a maritime boundary dispute about more than 100,000 square kilometers of seafloor claimed by both countries that is believed to be enriched of oil and gas. International Court of Justice is scheduled to start hearing of the case between the two neighbors after years of delay in the cases. Kenya accused it of procedural unfairness.
The court begins by considering those factors relied on by Kenya, which are of a non-geographical nature. As far as the security interests of Kenya are concerned, the court is fully aware of and does not underestimate the serious threats to security in the region. These threats are certainly of legitimate concern to the states of the region and to the international community at large. The court notes the efforts of the international community, in particular the United Nations and the African Union, as well as of various countries including Kenya, to assist Somalia in re-establishing peace and security after many years of internal conflicts. The court observes that boundaries between states, including maritime boundaries, are aimed at providing permanency and stability.
While Kenya can now not stop judges from making the verdict, the next phase could be about how the two countries can come together to finally draw the boundary. Kelvin Donda reporting from Mwangaza Prime News, Head 9.
And lastly, in this week's episode of My Planet, My Pride, our features reporter Ivo Jumolingo paints for us the picture of the beauty of nature and the ecosystem driven by the art of flower planting dubbed floriculture. And on that note, I'll be signing up. Many thanks for watching. I'm Brian Sakwa. Good night.
Plants are the backbone of our ecosystem, and when we single out flowers, much can be said. In Membli Estate, Juja, Kiambu County, I get to explore the experience and knowledge of two comrades who are into flower business.
Kwa majina naitwa David Maina. Mimi ni mkulima wa maua. Nalima maua pande ya Membli. Na tulipenda hii kazi ya maua kwa vile watu wengi wana prefer maua kuliko miti kulingana na ile space dogo iko hapa Nairobi na mashamba si kubwa, so flower planting is favorable kwa hii area kuliko miti.
Kwa majina naitwa Haron Bogwa, nauzanga maua na pot. Ukikuja ukinunua maua nafanyanga follow up, nafuatilia naona venye inaendelea na kupandia pia. Kuna zile huwa napanda kwa pots, kuna zingine huwa zinapandwa kwa mchanga.
While planting or placing an order for a flower plant, you ought to consider a few aspects including the location.
Kuna mahali huwezi panda maua, mchanga yake namuuliza, alafu nikienda kupanda mimi najibebea mchanga yangu ile maua inahitaji.
In case of planting, we also recommend that you plant with the whole soil that is engulfing the flower, not tamper with the roots, so that the growth continues immediately. Depending with the type of a flower, there are flowers that you require to prune or to trim to give them the shape that you want. Others are naturally like this one. It's naturally a cone, the way it is. You don't have to trim. That's how it is meant to be. It also depends with other type of flowers. There are those flowers that hangs. Some need to be supported. Yeah, the crawling plant, we have a few. What you do, maybe you support them with maybe a string or a metallic rod, so that they can suspend. They are able to suspend to build the shape that you want.
Flowers are different from other plants, and most of them take a shorter while to mature, considering they are more sensitive.
A flower matures easily, depending with the type of a flower. But I think for a tree to mature, it takes years. And also requires a bigger space for the root to penetrate. Yeah, some flowers grow taller, but you also manage them, because once you cut the tip of a flower, the flower doesn't grow taller. It now starts widening and shooting more.
Though water is essential for all plants, it has to be taken in moderation, as too much of anything is poisonous.
Kuna zile maua hazipendi maji. Sana sana maua yote haipendi maji sana. So maua unapea, kama iko kwa nyumba unapea once a week. Mara moja kwa wiki maji, na si maji mingi. Juu ikiwa kwa nyumba hakuna ile maji ya evaporate. Alafu ya nje unapea after 2 days, lakini si ile maji mingi.
Flowers need special kind of soil, and the use of manure is ideal instead of commercial fertilizers. Besides, the manner in which you take care of the plant highly determines the outcome.
We have several determinants. One is the care you are taking for the flower, the soil you are also planting with, and also the maintenance. It determines the maturity of a flower. Flowers do very well in compost. They also do better in red soil plus manure. And also the care you are taking for the flower, it determines the level of maturity.
But just how much do flower plants go for, and how long do you expect one to blossom?
Each and every flower matures. It has its maturity period. Some will mature in a month's time, others in 2, 3. Some will take years, but most mature very fast, 3 to 6 months, if well taken care of. Our flowers go for different places. We have flowers of over 30,000, like this one. We call it cycad. It goes for 30 to 40,000. Bado tuko na wachanga wake, watoto wake. That goes for 5,000, 7,000 to 10,000. Also depending with the sizes and type. They take very long to mature because they normally shoot yearly, once per year. So once you have a seed, it takes a year to shoot once. And also they are rare to find. Yeah, and also their seedlings are very expensive.
For a sound ecosystem, embracing flowers is the way to go. Furthermore, they occupy a smaller space compared to trees.
Maua ni ya urembo na inaleta hewa safi kwa compound, pia kwa nyumba ndani. Juu kama kuna hizi zinatoa flowers, ile inatoa 2 flowers. Kuna hizo sasa zinapandangwa nje, zenye hazitoi flowers, hizo ndizo zinapandangwa ndani.
Or I can advise people is to grow flowers. Flowers are beautiful, they beautify your home. We also have some flowers that condition the environment. They cool also the air. You know, they consume a lot of CO2 and they release a lot of oxygen. They purify, so I would advise we plant more flowers and we beautify our home. We also conserve our environment.
Flowers play a vital role in the environment. The more we plant, the better. For my planet, my pride, Eva Juma.